Okay, so today I'm gonna be making this lamb leg steak. I'm gonna be putting it in my sous vide that's over here. I'm gonna season it up, and then after that, we're gonna get a nice little sear on it, and I'm gonna show you how to make this. I actually picked this up from Sprouts for $4.45. As you see, it's pretty big. It's almost a half a pound. A lot of people think you can't afford to eat lamb, but it's really not that expensive. You just gotta know where to look. So I'm gonna grab my seasonings that I use, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so real simple seasonings. What do I have? Salt and pepper. I got cayenne. I think this is my garlic powder, yeah, and my onion powder. So nothing too deep. Okay, how to get this up? All right, so it seems like they I forgot what they called, but these are called truss, where they wrapped it in cooking twine to make sure that it stays, kind of, nice and solid like a steak when it's cooking. So that's kind of nice. I wish I had some rosemary. I don't have any, some fresh herbs, because I would definitely put rosemary on this. Rosemary is probably my favorite. All right, so what I'm gonna do is we're just doing a real simple nice layer of salt, nice layer of pepper, I usually just use a spoon for these type jars. I actually get these from the farmer's market, the Caps Farmer's Market. It's actually an amazing place to go shop. But so we're just gonna season this up, and then from here we will be putting it into the not the Ziploc, but I can't think of the name, but whatever, the bag that you put it in before you put it in the sous vide, the airtight bag. Okay, I'm a little heavy-handed with my onion and garlic, but it's cool. All right, flip it. The same thing. And I'm gonna mix this in with my hand a little bit later. Make sure I don't get these tops mixed up. And salt it. Okay, I just want to make sure it's all in there. Even working on these little sides, everything needs seasoning. Now, it's not a lot of fat with this cut, but a little bit. I can see a little bit on the side here. But this should still be okay. I'm gonna leave the cooking twine on, of course, so that it maintains its shape. All right, and that's pretty good seasoning right there. That'll help us a lot. So what I'm actually gonna do also is I'll probably let me wash my hands, but I'll probably cook this with some duck fat as well, just for a little extra flavor. As I said, it's not a lot of fat on here. And you do want fat. Fat equates to the actual flavor that you taste in your final meal. Okay. So all I need to do is season it. I got everything else set up. So now we're going to put it into the vacuum seal bag. So I have this right here, and this is my vacuum sealer that comes in the frame all the way. Move this out of the way. Okay. All right, so the trick with these bags that you want to try your best to keep this little ring clean, because this is where the seal needs to take place. So if you aren't keeping that clean, you'll have a broken seal, you get water in the bag, and you just mess up the whole thing. So I see a lot of people, they like fold them back and stuff like that. I don't really do that. I just kind of try my best to keep it clean. If I do get a little seasoning or something or whatever I'm cooking is a little moist, then I'll just wipe it down with a paper towel. It's no big deal. I've never had an issue actually, and I've used this a bunch of times. So yeah, this time I'm gonna have to wipe it. I can tell already. Okay, just like that. I'm gonna wipe this with my hand towel. I'm gonna get rid of it. All right, it goes in the laundry. I like to keep these hand towels, you know, so I can use them when I want. And I have a few of them that I keep under the sink clean at all times. So if I'm cooking, I can just throw one away, grab a new one, and keep moving. All right, so like I said, I also want to put a little duck fat. So this is duck fat. I made this myself from cooking duck confit, one of my favorite dishes. So just gonna put a little bit, and it's fresh out the refrigerator, so it's not melted at all. So let's get a nice little spoonful. Try that. Yep, get right on top of this, which is perfect. Get the top on. Okay. All right, and now let's try to seal it. Make sure we got a good seal. So this is a little vacuum sealer that I got for $15 off of Amazon someday, like a year ago, maybe more than a year ago now. And it's perfect. I see a lot of them be costing like $100, $150, $50. Nah, this was $15, shipped and everything, $15, and I've never had an issue. I do have to, when I use it, I have to kind of hold it, the top down a little bit to make sure it gets a good seal. But I mean, if that's all you have to do for $15, that's not a bad deal, bro. Let it go. And so it'll seal, first it sucks all the air out, then it'll make a nice seal across the top. And I'll let that, the pressure sit down for a minute, put this in the sink. Okay, so this should be good. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but even though I do have a little seasoning, you can see your seal, always check it. Like I said, I've never had an issue, but still always check. And the seal is right along this line. And I can see there's no pockets or no divots, so it should be good. All right. Okay, so the last step is just introducing it to the water bath. So this is my sous vide, literally says my sous vide. I have it set for 135.5 degrees. So it's still coming up to temperature, as you can see. I have a lot of water in here, that's why it's taking so long. But you can put it in before, it's really no problem. I mean, it'll eventually still get to your time. I can set a timer, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna set it for about 3 hours. And so look, and so 259, I'll leave it like that. And so that's the cool thing with the sous vide, is that you can just set your timer and see it goes back to this screen, still heating up, 127 now. And yeah, in 3 hours I come back and check on it. So I want to make sure it's fully submerged, so I make sure I do that. And then I put it in. And I also have this little clip here. I just make sure I clip the bag to the side so it stays down. And that's basically it. Okay, so the lamb stayed cooked for about 3 hours. I actually didn't even cook it the same day I made it. I put it in the refrigerator, so this is actually the following night where I decided to go ahead and get that started. So one of the first steps I'm going to have to do is cutting the bag open and removing the juice that's inside. And that's a combination of the duck fat that I put in there and just natural juices from the lamb. So I'm going to put that off to the side, and I'm going to make a sauce at the end for that. So that's always good to keep. Okay, so all I do is pour the sauce off into the bag. Very simple. And then make sure that we get ready on our next step, which will be removing the lamb from the bag and going ahead and getting a nice sear on it so that it's done. And like I said, with the sous vide, the meat comes out. It's actually perfectly done at this point. And so what I also do before searing it is just make sure that I pat it dry with a napkin or paper towel to make sure you get all that moisture that was surrounding it in the bag. Try to get all that off. Okay, so all I'm doing now is I'm just salt and peppering both sides very quickly, and then we'll move on to getting it a nice sear in our cast iron.
Can you feel the vibe? Tell me how you feeling alive. Baby, what you doing tonight? I'm just trying to feel the vibe. You say you're really real, man, I can't even vouch you. You wasn't with me when I was sleeping on the couch. I'm struggling in my car, damn near on E. I'm out here trying to drive now, stuck in these streets. My debit card is ticking, it's a stupid job, I'm about to quit. One more hit, I'm about to flip it, man, I can't deal with this shit, man. Damn. And the only old lady that I got, her name is Mary. She ain't never starting shit, she always solving it. Ain't no problems with her. Except when I can't get to her. Cause everybody damn ran through her. She a hoe and I never even knew her. But I'm just trying to feel the vibe. But I can't get right. I'm just trying to feel the vibe. But I can't get right. Baby, what you doing tonight? I'm trying to get between them vibes. Make it roll back your eyes. And if you're begging for another night, have you begging for another night? I have you begging. I got Jenna for a year and some stupidish. Yeah, that's what I get for always chasing shit. But now I'm back on my grind, my next level shit. And I'm really about to drop a motherfucking hit. I'm a LE nigga and I'm limited. I'm a LE nigga and I'm limited, yeah. Got your girl in the backseat of the Camry. Put me in, coach, ain't nobody stopping me. Going in, splashing curry in the fourth quarter. About to go hard, I pass me some damn water. Shout out to Hurricane. Make your girl give me brain. And the shit was insane. Had to hit her up again. But I'm just trying to feel the vibe. But I can't get right. I'm just trying to feel the vibe. But I can't get right. Baby, what you doing tonight?
Okay, so here's my omelet. Very quick. It was just what was it? Spinach and ricotta cheese, vegan ricotta cheese at that, an egg. Okay, so our lamb steak is nice and rested. So this is me cutting it up, and I'm just trying to see how I did. And if you can look closely, you can see it's still very pink on the inside. So I did a pretty good job, if you ask me. Cooked it at, like I said, 135 for 3 hours. It was beautiful. Okay, so here's our finished meal. So I made it like a southern style omelet, like I said. And then I just plated it very simply with the lamb steak. This didn't take a whole lot. I made the sauce on the side from those original juices, and then I just put that straight in the pan and let it reduce by half. And I think I seasoned it with salt and pepper as well, and a little butter, so that makes the sauce kind of creamy. Put a little pepper on top, and that's it. So thank you so much for watching. This is my first video, so I'm trying to kind of get this together. So sorry about the portrait thing, but we're gonna get it corrected. Thank you.